to send the Thunder home. Lillard, long-range three.
Beautiful morning. Get the sun up right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to CEO Sports Talk. Oliver Myrick alongside Casey Hornbeek once again. And we are back. Again, obviously, it's not very routine anymore. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're doing NBA playoff predictions today. So the two playing games happened today, and then we're recording after that. So we know the 2-7 matchups because those are a bit more unpredictable than 1-8. So we waited till after those. But yeah, we'll go over our brackets, who will win each series in how many games, to full predictions. And yeah, I think last year I had like Warriors Bucks finals. I think I had Bucks winning or something like that. So got half of it right, at least, kind of. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember do you remember what you put? Can't remember.
Yeah, I think I had like Warriors 76ers maybe, but I'm not fully sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think you actually had Warriors winning though, so
Yeah.
you got it right. Yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into it, fellas. Here we go. We will start with the Western Conference. I'll go for Denver. I'll say in 5 over one of these teams. I think it will probably be Minnesota. They might be missing Rudy Gobert, but I don't think it'll matter. They're still a pretty good team. They lost to the Lakers. They took them to overtime, and Anthony Edwards had a terrible game. So they're still a pretty good team. But watch out for like New Orleans. They're kind of surging lately. But I think Denver, the 1 seed, everyone's healthy. They'll be fine the first round.
All right, here we go. So yes, for me, it's Denver. It's going to be interesting to see who gets that 8 seed. However, I think that, it could go to anyone. Oklahoma's playing really well right now, that young team. However, no matter who, I do think Denver will get it. Minnesota lost today. They're playing well, but I think the Nuggets will get it in 5, a gentleman's sweep. And, great year for them once again. They got the number 1 overall seed, a 53-29 record. The question for them, is just will they be able to perform this playoffs? Obviously, as I said, they've been so good all regular season. Jokic, there's a shot he could get a 3rd MVP in a row. You're talking a Hall of Famer, obviously.
That's elite company.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to start winning in the playoffs. However, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Nuggets in 5 for now.
Yeah. Talk about playing good ball right now. It's the Phoenix Suns. I don't know if they've even lost with KD on the team. Clippers. I think it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna be that good of a series, to be honest. Even though I was kind of excited for it, I think it's good, like star matchups, but I don't think
Really
the Clippers are that good, to be honest. So I will go. I think Phoenix will win in 5 personally.
Yeah, okay. I think it'll be a bit better of a series than that. I know the Clippers, as you said, have been lacking a little bit. However, the Suns have been an interesting team all year. Obviously, signing Kevin Durant, trading for him halfway through the year has been interesting, but him mixed with Ayton and Book, they've all been good. I'm gonna go with the Suns in 6. I think they get through this one. LA obviously can be tough in the playoffs. We've seen them compete, but I like them to lose in the first round once again.
It's fair. First upset here. I do think the Warriors match up very well against the Kings. They won the season series 3-1. Albeit the Kings rested in that final game, but yeah, when everyone's healthy, it was 2-1. And yeah, I think the Warriors match up really well. They're getting Andrew Wiggins back. Everyone's finally healthy for like the first time all year. That same thing happened last year when everyone finally got healthy at playoff time, and you saw what happened. They won a championship. Not saying this team is as good as last year because they're not. Who knows if they can win a championship, but I do think they'll squeak past Sacramento, who has no playoff experience. New head coach, not really new, but yeah, just not a very good defensive team. I think they're one of the worst defensive teams, but they're the best offensive team. If the Warriors can get serious on offense or on defense for once, they'll be able to shut down Sac and they can score the ball because I think these are the top 2 offensive teams in the league. So if you like offenses in this series for you, and I will have the Warriors winning in 6 games because winning 5 means they have to win 2 games on the road. I don't know if this team's capable of doing that. So I think they win 6 games. They win game 6 at Chase Center and move on.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what an amazing series this is for NorCal. Both of us obviously live in Northern California. We've been waiting for the Kings to make the playoffs forever. They had one of the longest, I think, of the 4 major sports leagues. I think they had the longest
They were by
playoff drought,
far.
and they finally broke it. So good for them. Light the beam or whatever. So I'm really happy for the Kings. It should be a really good series. I really think that this Warriors team, they struggled so on the road, like insanely on the road this year. So that's going to be really interesting with the Kings having the home court advantage. However, I think the Warriors, obviously having Andrew Wiggins back is going to be big. Curry's been really good all year. Draymond is going to be good in the playoffs. Clay, so everyone's going to be solid for the Warriors. It's going to come down to experience, and the Warriors have much more experience. However, it is going to come down to defense. I like what you said about how the Kings are unreal offensively, but defensively they do struggle. They have guys that had really underrated years. Malik Monk averaging 13, Kevin Warder, really good year, Oliver, 15 points, De'Aaron Fox 25, and then Keegan Murray broke the record for threes for rookies. So really good Kings team. And by the way, that DeMonte Sabonis trade may have been won by the Kings. Everyone
It was
gave them
definitely very even. I think
Holly Burton, but I think both of them end up fine. But I'm gonna go with a 7-game series, and I like the Warriors to pull it out in Sacramento. It's just gonna come down to experience, and yeah, same once again with Oliver going for the upset. But I feel like the Warriors may be favored in a lot of these games this series.
I mean, you can see they've been picked 74% by fans, but obviously that's not experts. Yeah, I mean, I just be scared if it went to 7 playing in the at the road on the road. But I think playoff experience really matters. This game, talk about 7-game series. I think this goes to 7. Lakers are playing unreal right now. They just won again. Didn't look great tonight. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the end, but they didn't. I mean, I think AD's been on another planet. LeBron been pretty good. Austin Reeves has been really good. D'Angelo Russell has historically been bad in the playoffs, but if he can step it up, they'll be good. I do think they take Memphis to 7. I do think Memphis, with the home court advantage, does win. But yeah, big injuries for them. They've lost Steven Adams for the playoffs. Brandon Clark's out for the year, so it's going to be on John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. and company. But I think they will win in 7. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great series, one of the best.
I agree once again with you, and I was actually kind of excited the Lakers won tonight because that created this really solid matchup we got. I mean, last year we saw, I think it was Memphis Warriors first round. No, that was second round. But that was an unreal series, and we're gonna go for Memphis LA this year. As you like to set up Warriors. However, I mean, I think it could go either way. This Lakers team looks solid tonight. They struggled a little bit in like key stuff, like steals. They just got the ball stolen to them at the very end, but LeBron obviously played extremely well. Dennis Schroeder was really solid all day for the Lakers. So I think they're going to compete. John Morant, obviously we all know what happened to him. He had a tough year with that, but I mean, he's still averaging 26. Look over Desmond Bain averaging 21.5. However, I'm going to go with an upset. I like the LA Lakers to upset Memphis with all that stuff happening in 6 games. I think LA moves on to play Golden State in the California SoCal NorCal battle. This is a huge upset. However, I think it really, really has a big chance of happening. I mean, LA, I think it's finally time that they win outside the bubble in the playoffs. And
yeah,
I
they
think finished the season strong.
I think this is the second most likely upset out of all of them. I think it's definitely more likely than the 5-4, which is weird to say. So I agree.
Yeah. They got guys of experience, a good young mix, and they finished the season on a nice hot streak, and they won tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Milwaukee's been the best team in the year in the league all year round. I like them winning in 4 over the whoever the 8 seed will be. Probably, I can't even say Miami anymore. They looked so bad tonight. So whoever it is, I don't think will win a game against Milwaukee.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you here. I mean, whoever it is, I'm gonna go for Chicago.
Sure.
But it could be anyone. Chicago barely squeaked in there, but I'm gonna go with a Bucks in 5, whoever it is. I don't know. Just winning in 4 is really hard these days. I'll go 5.
Yeah, that's true. Cleveland, New York. I really like this series, to be honest. 2 really fun teams. Knicks obviously led by a career year from Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle as well. Cleveland, with the addition of Donovan Mitchell, have 2 dominant big men in Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, along with a great young point guard in Darius Garland. Really, really solid team all around. So I do like Cleveland winning this, but I think it will go to 6. I like New York. I thought they've been really underrated all year round, but I think Cleveland just has too much talent and they have better depth, I think. But Emmanuel Quickley is great off the bench for New York. Very talented team. That one of the best New York teams I've seen in a while. So it's fun for them, but I do like Cleveland in 6.
Yeah, I think this will be another really fascinating series. As you said, the Mobley, of course, Darius Garland. This Cleveland team's been solid all year, and they really came up last year. I do. That's when we knew they would be good. I think they fell in the playoffs and extremely close. Was that in the play-in? Cleveland lost, and then they made the 4 this year, so they've been solid. However, I like this New York team a lot. R.J. Barrett, averaging 20, Jalen Brunson 24 points, and Julius Randle 25, kind of a three-headed monster over there
Yeah.
in New York. And then a lot of people say they don't have the depth, but I don't think it's horrible.
Not bad.
Quentin Grimes, and then as you said, Emmanuel quickly. That team isn't horrible off the bench, and Obi Toppin as they drafted early a few years ago. Of course, you gotta give haps to like the 14th man, Schema Kyluk, Kansas Jayhawk. We all know him.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with New York in 6. I think the Garden is a brutal place to play when it gets bumping, which is rare in the playoffs. But I think it will be this year. We saw what they did to Trae Young a few years back, and I'm gonna go with New York getting a little minor upset there.
Yeah, I like it. Obviously, this is not the same Brooklyn team that this team wouldn't have made the playoffs probably if the roster was the same as it is now. So I do like Philly. They're playing good ball. I like them in 5 over Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a fun team. I like Mikal Bridges has kind of become the man there, and that's cool for him because you never really saw what he could do as the star in Phoenix, and so I think that's cool for him. But Philly, with the probable MVP in Joel Embiid, and then obviously James Harden, um, Tobias Harris company. It's a good team. So I do like Philly in 5 games.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges is having an unreal year, and I do love what you said. I mean, I think it's great. Everyone kind of felt bad for him when he got traded from Phoenix because he was such a good sport about it. He talked about how he understands it's Kevin Durant. And then what I really look up to about Mikal Bridges is that he just plays every single game. He hasn't missed a single game to injury in his entire career. That's insane. So he's obviously an extremely healthy dude, averaging 27 a game. So I think Brooklyn will play Philly pretty well. They kind of come together as a pretty solid team ever since the Durant trade. Steph Curry's there as well. Some other people forget about. However, I'm gonna go Philly in 6 actually. As you said, Embiid's just been unreal this year. The 76ers are loading. They had that great game versus the Celtics. They finally beat them. They didn't get the 2 seed from them, but they did finally beat them. I mean, Joel Embiid, 33 points. That's unreal. So yeah, Philly and unreal fans.
Yeah. And then Boston, Atlanta. Boston's really good. I didn't think they were gonna win that game, but they got the 7 seeds to go for them. I like Boston in 5 once again. Yeah, so I like Boston in 5 over Atlanta. I think Boston's, probably the second or third best team in the whole league. So, yeah, I do like them. I think they can make another title run. I do have all chalk here, but I do think that's how the Eastern Conference is built this year. Very top heavy. West is definitely more deep, but not as heavy on the top, which is interesting because it hasn't been like that. The Eastern Conference has always been worse in the past, but yeah, so that's how I have it.
Yeah, last game of the playoffs here, Atlanta, Boston. I think this will be a really good series. Obviously, the Hawks got the win tonight, so that moved them in. Really solid performance from Young, averaging 29 or dropping 25. But I am going to go with Boston. I think it's kind of been a revenge tour for them all year. Second best team in the East. They've had a really good middle of the year. Slowed down a little here at the end, but they're on a nice streak. The Jaylen Brown injury is a little bit weird. Grabbing a vase. I mean, what the hell does that mean? I mean, it must have been like 3 a.m. or something. You couldn't see the vase. I don't know what's up with it. But Tatum's been really good. Al Horford's there. Pretty much the same team as last year for the Celtics. I'm gonna go with them to win in 5 against Atlanta.
Yep. Yeah, good Celtics team. Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, 6 man of the year candidate. Denver Phoenix, man, this is a great series. I feel like I don't want to overrate Phoenix because I feel like that's a hot trend. People are so high on them, just they have Kevin Durant, and never know about these Kevin Durant led teams in the playoffs. They always kind of seem to disappoint. But Denver, again, they haven't really done much in the playoffs historically, but this is probably the best they've been. I think I think we both predicted them to be the 1 seed preseason. I know I did at least. So I knew they would be good, but I don't know. This is really tough for me. I haven't really thought about this. Denver, they both 1 and 5 for me previous, so they have the same amount of rest. Denver home court advantage. I think Denver advances. But I think this series goes to 7. I think it's a great series. But I think people are kind of dismissing Denver for some reason. But they've been so good all year round. They have Jokic averaging a triple double, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, best 3-point shooting team in the league. Pretty good defensively. They're just a very solid team. Play well at home. So I do like them over Phoenix, but I do think Phoenix will definitely give them a ride. I just don't think Phoenix has the depth. They're very top heavy team. They traded away all their depth in the trade with Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges. And they don't really have many good defenders on that team either. So I don't know. I think Jokic and Ayton, that's barbecue chicken alert. I think Jokic takes him to town. So I do like Denver here.
Yeah, I think you said it really well. It's going to come down to depth. I think it's going to be a long series either way. It's going to go 6 or 7, no matter who wins. And then to the bigs, who's going to stay more consistent, Ayton or Jokic? When it comes down to Game 6, though, and they're in Denver after a long season, in that altitude, I do think that Denver
Well,
role,
they'd be in Phoenix. Phoenix Game
yeah,
6.
either wherever it is, but say they're in Denver, whatever. But
Yeah.
I think that role play and that bench is going to come in handy for Denver. I think they're
That's
underrated by the fact that they are deeper than they've been in past years when Jokic has won MVP. Michael Porter Jr. was not the same in past years. Jamal Murray had a torn ACL for like 2 years. It was a brutal ACL. He's finally back producing. So I think this team is definitely better than past Denver teams. There's a reason they're the 1 seed. Aaron Gordon's producing. They had a good draft. They have guys like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope that are on that team. And Bruce Brown off the bench. I think Denver's good. I like them to win it in 6.
And I bet if these two match up, I bet even though it won't be an upset, I bet Phoenix will be favored.
Yeah. I mean, especially the ones in Phoenix, yeah. If they're up like if it's 1-1, Game 3 goes to Phoenix, I would bet Phoenix would be favored, yeah.
Yeah, I think they might be favored to win the series too. Yeah. Golden State Memphis rematch. Obviously, there's 2 different teams now. Golden State would be the 6, Memphis still the 2, just like last year. But I don't know. Memphis coming off a 7-game series, LA, they'll be tired. Lost some key guys. I think Golden State wins. Well, that's tough. I think they win in 6 again. Just like last year and just like the first round in Sacramento. I can see this in 5, but I'm gonna keep it 6. Yeah, I think Golden State will get fired up for Memphis as they do. They always play Memphis well. I think Dylan Brooks kind of just gets their gears going. I mean, I hate Memphis. I would love nothing more from this to happen. And yeah, I think we match up well against them, and yeah, I like Golden State in 6. And then you have Golden State LA.
Yeah, I think that Golden State Memphis series would be amazing, as you said. However, I have the Lakers already beating them. And I think, throughout the season, the Lakers have had the upper hand of the Warriors. They played recently.
They do. They have 3-1 against us this year. They've definitely been better.
Yeah, they've beaten the Warriors prime time a few times now. But I think the Warriors here would have an upper hand. They've recently been better in the playoffs. And I think when it comes to overall depth, it's close, but the Warriors do take it, especially if Wiggins coming back. Yeah. I think it's similar to last year, but guys have got better. Kuminga's been a bit better this year. For instance, yesterday, an absolute showing for Kuminga, and then Moses Moody had 25 points. I think this team's really good with Gary Payton as well. Dante DiVincenzo has been amazing. So I like this Warriors team would win it in 6 and go back to the Western Conference Finals after another year. I mean, they just find a way. People don't realize in the NBA, so if you've been there, you're gonna make it far, especially on this Warriors team. They're not that much worse than last year, especially if Wiggins gets back. And Steve Kerr is probably the best coach or experienced coach right now in the playoffs. People don't like him like that, but I mean, he is experienced.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, if this team is clicking and we know they have the capability to do that, they're the same team as last year, pretty much. I mean,
They didn't lose anyone big except
They
maybe
lost Otto Porter, but Otto Porter, Dante DiVincenzo pretty much fills that role. Obviously, he's a
yeah.
little smaller, but they have Gary Payton back. Yeah, it's a very similar team. No B elites or anything, but um, you have Anthony Lamb or whatever in that role, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think this team definitely has a chance to go far. So we have the same Western Conference Finals, but who knows? We might have different winners. Or the same, doesn't matter. All right, Milwaukee, Cleveland. I think Milwaukee takes it in 6. I think Cleveland will give them a good run for the money, but Milwaukee, at the end of the day, I mean, they got Brook Lopez from someone who couldn't defend to Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He blocks like 3 shots a game. Giannis obviously great on both ends of the floor. Drew Holiday, All-Star this year. Chris Middleton has not been phenomenal, but he was injured most of the year. He's back. Bobby Portis is a great player. Very deep team, very good team. They've been here before. They've won a championship with this core. When everyone has been healthy in this core, they've never lost a playoff series. So you can take that how you want it, but I think Milwaukee's very good, and so I'm very high on them.
Yeah. Milwaukee, New York, once again, another great series. I think it will be close, but I'm gonna go with Milwaukee in 6. I mean, I've already broke down both these teams pretty specifically, but this series especially, I think um very heavy in guard play. But when it comes to the bigs, I think that obviously Giannis on Brook Lopez is with Milwaukee. Sorry, Giannis on what's
Randall,
oh shit, fine.
Randall, yeah.
Yeah, Giannis on Julius Randle is gonna definitely be something that Giannis could take advantage of, and Milwaukee has really solid role play as well. So I'm gonna go with Milwaukee in 6. Really solid series again. I mean, this would be a good season for New York if they can make it that far.
Yeah, absolutely. You said 6, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Boston, Philly, great matchup. But I think Boston won the season series this year. Um, or did they? Was it tied? No, I
I
was thinking.
think Boston won by 1, but
Yeah.
Philly won the last one last week.
Uh, yeah, I don't know, but I do think Boston's a better team. I like Milwaukee Boston to match up again in the Eastern Conference Finals. I do like Boston. I think this series goes to 7. I think this is a great series. I'd love to see this series. I'd love to watch this. Embiid versus Tatum, two the best players in the game. Yeah, I need that, frankly.
Yeah, we've seen that rivalry, huge sports towns. I mean, East Coast, there are huge basketball people there. Um, Philly fans, they really want this. They want to get redemption as Boston's had the upper hand in the playoffs, and I'm gonna go with Philly getting it this time in 6. I think that, or in 7. Give me 7. I
Give him
think
7.
that Boston they're winning. I think that this Philly team, it's finally time. You know, James Harden has been really solid. I feel like he's finally finding his groove in Philly after a lot of hardships everywhere. Who
Interesting that his development has been crazy from a guy who scores like 40 a night to a pass first kind of guy.
And then obviously Embiid's having another type of year, averaging 33, which is unreal. So I think this team's solid. They still have shooters like Tyrese Maxey, of course, and a good bench. But the reason I like them over Boston is just because I think Boston's the injury stuff's a little bit weird there right now. And then also I think that this year that Philly can figure them out a bit more, especially taking advantage of that and with Embiid, as they don't have like a star big necessarily that can guard them. Al Horford is playing good this year. Last year they used a few guys to get around him, but I think Embiid's going to take advantage of it this year, and they'll have an unreal series versus Boston. And Embiid gets to an Eastern Conference Final, and we'll play Milwaukee.
Yeah, I like it. Back up to the West, Western Conference Finals, Golden State, Denver.
Get both picks here. Yeah, I'll see what your final is before I go.
Yeah, honestly, I was trying to think like while you were picking
Yeah, I don't know right now.
all these popular matchups, all these possible matchups. I don't really know. I mean, in NBA, you usually see a lot of chalk because there's 7 games and the best team usually wins. But oof, I don't know who I'd pick in this Denver. I mean, Denver just beat Golden State without Jokic. And everyone in Golden State was playing. So, to be frank with you, I think Golden State run ends here to Denver. Do I feel like Denver's an NBA Finals caliber team? Maybe not, but matchups wise, I like them in all these games. So I think, or in all these series. So I do think they win. Uh, I think it maybe goes to 7 though, but I do have Denver in my NBA Finals. Milwaukee, Boston. Actually, I'll say Denver in 6, and then Milwaukee, Boston. I think this series goes to 7 again. Uh, Boston won it last year. Ugh. This is a really good series, dude. Two of the best teams all year. Um, let me do some.
Killian Hayes.
Why they only play 3 times? What? So Boston won the season series. Um, I'll pick Boston and make it back to the finals. 7-game series, and then I'll save my finals. But I have Denver, Boston finals, which I'd like. And then yours.
Yeah, I mean, man, I've literally thought about this. I was gonna say Denver the entire time we were talking. I just, they're a better team overall this year. They really are. They're more consistent. They're better. However, man, when it comes to playoffs, it's just a different mode. I mean, this is
So it's
April,
hard to predict because
May.
under the Steve Kerr era, the Warriors have never not made the final, like have been in the playoffs and not made the
Yeah,
finals. So it's like
yeah.
they've never
It's,
lost a playoff series that wasn't 2019 finals or 2016 finals. So it's like tough to rule them out. We've never seen like this core of guys exit so early. So it's tough.
yeah. So Steve Kerr became the Warriors coach 2014. Since that, I mean, 2015 to 2020 to 2019, they made the NBA Finals every single time. They lost twice. They made the final every time. 2020, they didn't even make the playoffs. 2021, they lost in the play in the Memphis. That's the only time I've seen early 2021. It's the
Yeah, but
only time.
that team had no Clay, and that team was
Yeah,
weird.
that's the only time I've seen the Warriors make the playoffs and not make the finals. So I just can't see them losing a series like this. I'm going with the Warriors in 6. I think when it comes to the playoffs, and if this team is healthy, it is the exact same team we saw last year. If they get Andrew Wiggins going, pray for his dad. I hope he's all good. Hope he's recovered and good to go for the playoffs. And he's good mentally, good physically. I really think this Warriors team is the exact same team, if not maybe better as last year. Steph's still averaging 25 plus. I think this Warriors team is legit. I'm a Steve Kerr believer, and I think they'll get it going. However, it will be in 7 or 6. Sorry. Denver, they're dogs right now. I mean, to guard Jokic is going to be tough. However, recently they've struggled in the playoffs, and the Warriors have played them a few times in the playoffs and taken advantage of it. So it's going to be close. I obviously, going to get hate for this. A lot of people aren't going to agree with it. However, last year, I mean, they were the 3 seed, the Warriors, and they ended up winning it all. 6 seed, even tougher this time. All right, we got Milwaukee now versus the 76ers. And I'm going to go for another upset. I'm going to go with the 76ers. I think they're going to hold on to the hot hand here. Milwaukee, they struggled in the playoffs last year. I don't know. Chris Middleton's been a bit shaky this year. I'm going to go with the 76ers. I really do believe in a little Philly magic this year. This one's going to be in 7, I think. But man, I love the NBA playoffs. I feel like everyone loves it. Nothing like coming down to a 7-game series. These East Coast cities, they get into it, man. So a Philly Golden State final is what I have, and all overlooks have a Denver Milwaukee final. Or do you have Denver Boston?
I have Denver, Boston. Yeah.
Okay,
So
Denver.
we didn't end up having.
I like that. I mean, yeah. Denver Boston does Boston get revenge from last year?
I think Boston does get revenge, and that is my pick to win it all. As we will be wrapping up shortly here. I like Boston in 6 games in the finals. This is their year. They
Really?
lost last year. I just think, yeah.
They have
I
the
don't-
same they have the same team as the Warriors kind of as last year. Like they didn't lose many guys.
yeah, and I think they got a little deeper out of Malcolm Brogdon
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Okay, I get it. But yeah, I think Boston wins it. I think they're a better team than Denver. They have been a better team than Denver, and yeah, Tatum versus Jokic battle of the juggernauts. And so yeah, and who do you got in your Golden
Yeah.
State Philly? I mean, I don't know. Does Golden State run stop here or does Phillies?
Philadelphia, Golden State. What an amazing final this would be. I mean, they played on March 24th, Oliver, and the Warriors got the dub. They won by 8. Jordan Poole had 33, Embiid had 46. I mean, I think there
That
could
was a
be
good game.
I think that could be kind of an indication of how this series is going to go. When you have Embiid that's going to go off, will the other guys on, Philadelphia, who will be better? Curry, Embiid. I'm going to go with Embiid scoring more than Curry. However, if you take these role players, I'm going to go with Wiggins, Clay, and Poole to score more than Maxey, Harris, and PJ Tucker. I mean, PJ Tucker dropped 0 points that game.
It
So
depends if you consider it Harden or
role
role
player wise, I don't think this Philly team's as good. Springer, Niang, Kormaz, I don't like that as much, as a Dante DiVincenzo, Gary Payton off the bench. So I'm gonna go with the Warriors. I think they're gonna keep it going. They're gonna win this one in 6, and they're gonna bring another title back home to San Francisco in the Bay Area, really Oakland, where we've watched them for years. But I like Golden State. Call me biased, but I think
I'm
they're
rooting for
gonna
that, bro. I
game
think, and
one.
I definitely think it can happen.
I think it happens. Same team as last year. Telling
We're
you right
ended
now.
the season hot. They hadn't been 5 games over 500 the whole year, and they ended the year like that. So, Warriors are hot. Getting all the guys back definitely could happen. I have the Celtics.
But both our winners could lose first round. That's why I love the NBA playoffs. Anything can happen. Should be a great playoffs.
Absolutely, yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. That will do it for us today. Again, thanks for tuning in. And hope you guys enjoy these NBA playoffs, and we'll probably see you again sometime.
Like the beam, go Kings. I'm rooting for the Kings, by the way.
No, you're not.